Back in the saddle again here on To The Point, and it's the basketball court today where we lace them up as Marissa Escamilla, the junior forward from Burnet, Texas, joins me here. Misty Wilson's squad, as they're ready for a big fall campaign this year, are To The Point brought to you by our friends at the Edge Apartments. We welcome Marissa in. Marissa, thank you so much for giving me the time.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So catch us up. What's been going on since summer let out? What have you been up to, at home and then back here as well?
Mm-hmm. Well, I started summer classes and I'm doing an internship. So that's all I've really been doing this summer. It takes up 20 hours a week. And then I just, on my free time at night, I go and hoop at the rec sometimes.
There you go. There's not enough hours in the day for basketball sometimes, with that busy schedule you have. I talk about you going home. I know you love to go to Burnet whenever you get the opportunity. It's such a busy schedule during the year, and you love mom's cooking. But there's one thing on the menu that's specific that's the go-to when you go back home.
Mm-hmm. I like when she makes enchiladas. And her rice is like phenomenal. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, every Mexican restaurant has like their own rice, their own ingredients to the rice, but my mom's is like, I try to make it and I still can't nail it, but that's my favorite.
I think when the squad goes south this fall and into the spring, I think we might need to stop by Burnet and go ahead and get some of mom's homemade cooking there for the squad.
Not any Mexican food if y'all do.
Marissa, you told me that when you like to sit down and watch movies, that you're a big Marvel fan. What are a couple of go-tos for you that when you like to sit down and get some time away from the court?
I love Guardians of the Galaxy. I love Groot. He's my favorite. But I also like Spider-Man.
I love the characters on Guardians of the Galaxy. They all kind of mesh and contrast each other nicely. It was interesting because, Marissa, it seems like the game now, especially in your junior year, the experience you've gained, that the game kind of, in a sense, comes seamlessly at times. It hasn't always worked that way for you, though. You told me that basketball, it was not an easy start back in first grade when you got things going.
Yeah. I've come a long way from when I started in first grade because I didn't know how to dribble back then, but just a lot of practice. And I used to go to a lot of skill works when I did AAU. And then I didn't really have like a social life whenever I did do AAU because it was always basketball. And then I come to college and it's like you have your own time to do. It depends on if you want it or not, really. Like, how good do you want to be?
And you put the work in, safe to say. You told me one thing you like to do when you relax away from the court is you like to paint. Marissa, what are kind of the go-tos? What's your best thing to paint, so to speak?
Well, I have this thing where I'm like in love with the sun and moon. That is just, I don't know. I feel like that's just part of who I am. So I like painting the sun a lot, like different ways. I don't know if you know what talavera is, but it's like a type of painting. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's stuff like that.
When the sun goes down, I guess Marissa starts drawing. So you told me, this is very interesting. I've been doing To The Point for almost a year now, and I ask almost everybody a chore they don't like. And you sat for like 5 minutes and you were like, I can't think of anything. I just love to clean. Has it always been like that, Marissa?
Yes, most of the time, yes. Because my abuela, she made me clean. I always did the dishes. So that was like my chore. I would always do them and I did it well. And so now I like to clean because it relaxes the mind. I don't know if I'm stressed or I put too much on my mind, I just clean.
It's a lot of discipline for a college kid. You would have hated to see the college houses that I was coming up under. I asked you where you go after you leave Stephenville in the future. And you told me that the spot you really would like to envision yourself is down in the valley, down south. I got a feeling that you might have been the biggest fan of adding UTRGV to the schedule here in the WAC.
Mm-hmm. I grew up down there. Every summer I went to my Welly's house, and that's just where I grew up. And it's close to the beach. It's kind of close. It's like an hour away from the beach. And you get a little taste of Mexico too while you're down there. So in my opinion.
There you go. All right, Marissa, it's time for our this or that segment. Are you ready to go?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, we're going to go fast. Cookies or cake?
Cookies.
Chicken or steak?
Steak.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Shoes or flip-flops?
Does slide count as flip-flops?
I think it leans that way. I think we'll go flip-flops then for you. Netflix or Hulu?
Hulu.
Shorts or pants?
Shorts.
Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Love or money?
Love.
Comedy or horror?
Comedy.
LeBron or Jordan?
Jordan.
Morning or night?
Morning.
Beach or mountains?
The beach.
And is it the Pooh or the Plowboys?
Oh, man. This one's tough because I love them both, but I'm going to have to say Plowboys because one of my friends is a Plowboy.
There you go. It's always good to be good friends with the Plowboys. As you're hearing from Marissa Escamilla, junior forward for Misty Wilson's squad, as they prepare for year 2 inside the Western Athletic Conference. Marissa, a member of the honorable mention All-Western Athletic Conference team last year. And Marissa, one tradition at Tarleton that we talked about. Homecoming was a close second, but first for you, Midnight Madness holds a special place in your heart. What makes that night so fun?
It's so fun because you just get to go out there and be yourself. Like, the attention is on you, but it's so chaotic, and it's like the energy in that gym is different from any other. It gets you a kind of feel of what the games are going to be like too.
I'm telling you, y'all live in Misty Wilson's world for 7 months, and that's her opportunity to live in y'all's for a couple of hours. So you told me one reason you chose Tarleton was it reminds you of Burnett. Tell us what stands out about Stephenville that reminds you of back home.
It's quiet for the most part. Yeah, I like peacefulness, and that's what Stephenville reminds me of, and that's what I feel like back home.
You bring up the peace and quiet. You told me that you love the park here because you've got a couple of pups. You like to go out there, and that's one of your main places that you get to relax. Where are the go-to spots in Stephenville, your favorite park spots?
I like the Stephenville Park because I have my dog. He's a Chihuahua, and his name's Buster. I can just let him out, and he just goes crazy. I don't have to worry about other dogs and all that, so it's very
plenty of great options when it comes to the parks here in Stephenville. Plenty of great options when it comes for teammates, too, for you with Tarleton women's basketball. It's time to talk about the ladies that you have shared the floor with during your time. And I asked you, who it was that their car impresses you. And you actually went to one of your former teammates in the whip she's driving now. Kylie Collins has upgraded nicely since she got out of the purple and white.
Yeah, I like her whip. She had a red Mustang, I think. I'm pretty sure. And that one was cool, too, because every time I was in there, she would always let the windows down. And I saw her a couple times this year, and her new car, I love it. It's
gotta love the new Forerunner. And that's the thing about Kai. She'd rather you talk about her car than what happened on the floor. She's much more of a pass first. So I asked you who the most opinionated teammate you've had here, and it's one of your postmates, Lucy Benson. Tell me about that a little bit, Marissa.
Lucy is just straightforward. She's one of those people, but she makes everything funny. So, you can't, be offended by it. And she's doing it for, the best. And on the court, we have, a good relationship. So she tells me what I'm doing wrong or what I could do better or stuff that, if I'm, if I'm not, doing something right that I normally do, she's like, hey, Marissa, you're not doing this. You're not being yourself or something like that. So that's why I say she's opinionated.
Yeah, Lucy Benson will let you know real quick. I asked you who you'd like to see run for president, and I loved your answer because most people go with a teammate. You actually said Misty Wilson, but then the moment you said her, you said Nick Cantrell is another great candidate. What would make both of them great presidents?
Nick Cantrell he just has he's just really smart on the government and political side, and so is Coach Wilson. But she thinks a lot deeper and different perspectives. So that's why I chose both of them.
They could just run against each other, and whoever loses could be the VP. I think that might work best if those two were getting after it. Marissa, I asked you the best person to share a deserted island with, and You picked Reagan Hewen, but I love it. You had to think about it, and you said, I got to figure out who's bringing the most to the table here if we're deserted on an island, and Reagan was who you landed on.
Yes, because she wants to be a doctor. So if I eat something poisonous, or she's just really smart. So I feel like she would keep me in check, and we would survive.
I asked you about the first teammate you met at Tarleton, and it's another lady who has hung it up here with Tarleton women's basketball. It was former guard Nina Alvarez, and you actually said on that recruiting visit that kind of was one of the things that made you want to come to Tarleton as well. Y'all clicked, and it made you feel good about the program.
Mm-hmm. Man, I just love Nina. We've been best friends since my freshman year, and we still come in contact with each other every now and then, and it's like things really haven't changed.
I asked you also about a favorite head coach story, and you couldn't even remember what the bet was on. You just remember the bet you won, and it was you made Missy Wilson put the razor down. You made her wax her legs. Got to take us inside that, Marissa.
Yes. Like I said, I don't remember what the bet was, but I had wax because, I don't know, I wax my armpits, my legs. Yeah. But she was like, you wax? Like, doesn't that hurt? And I was like, let me wax you. And she was like, okay, if you do, yada, yada. I don't remember what it was, but it was really interesting because she was like, you're pulling it too slow. It was funny.
Well, anytime that C-Dub's telling you you're not being tough enough in practice, you just bring that back up, the leg waxing incident. All right, Marissa, before we let you go, take us through what the rest of your summer entails leading up to school. I know you've got a busy slate working here on campus, getting back in the gym. Just let us know what's going on in your world right now.
So now, since we just got our summer schedule, my mornings are going to be full of lifting, conditioning, and basketball. And as soon as I'm done with basketball and all of that, I go straight into my internship, and I get off at like 4:30, and then I'll have my downtime. That's what it seems like it's going to be.
Doing work on and off the floor in the offseason, just like you do during the season. Thank you so much for giving me the time. Looking forward to seeing you get back on the hardwood this fall.
Sounds good. Thank you, Kyle.
Marissa Escamilla, junior forward for Misty Wilson squad, honorable mention All-Western Athletic Conference member last year. She'll bolster down the forward spot once again. Make sure to keep up with all the news and notes regarding Marissa's squad. TarletonSports.com is where you do it. Also follow Tarleton Sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to keep up with all your news and notes with women's basketball and the rest of your favorite Tarleton Athletic program. That's going to wrap up another exciting edition of To The Point. For Marissa Escamilla, this is Kyle Cruz. Till next time, so long.